Well, you're going to have to go back. I didn't turn the damn thing on. You're going you're going to have to go back to when you and my dad. This was after the war that you
Yeah,
built.
of course, it was after the war. It was like in 1948 or so.
Yeah.
You know, we installed this big plant on 19th Street, and Harold and I did all the pressing equipment installation at night.
But what you met when you were in high school, right?
No,
Sure, because you went to Morgantown together.
That was college.
yeah,
Oh, you mean before that.
I guess I did meet him on his senior year, and he would come down and work with Kaplan, his uncle,
Right. What was his business?
junk business.
Oh, he was in the scrapyard business? My dad would have liked that.
Yeah,
He-
he was in
Okay, so then you went to Morgantown
We
together.
went to West Virginia together, and when I told Harold I was going to transfer to I didn't like Morgantown. I hated it, and I told him I was going to transfer to Ann Arbor, and he said, "Well, I'll do it too," and we went together.
Okay, because Jake.
At the time we were in the fraternity, Phi Lambda Phi, so when we went to Michigan, we were in the fraternity there.
But I know that Dad went to West Virginia because Jake Mervis went there.
Yeah, Jake went there.
Now, were they from Wheeling
They
too?
were cousins or something.
Right,
They
right.
were from Weirton, weren't they?
Weirton,
Yeah, well, Jake was from Woodard,
but he was a senior,
yeah.
and I think transferring to Michigan was a good move,
You can believe it.
right?
Well, I picked out 3 schools that I wanted to go to, and I applied to them. One was Cornell, the other one was for University of Virginia, and the other one was the University of Michigan. The way I ended up at Michigan was that my sister had been there, and my other relatives, and I had a car there, although you weren't allowed to drive it on campus, but I kept it in the back of the fraternity.
Uh-huh.
And the thing that I liked about it was that once a month I would go into Detroit and see my grandmother and grandfather. And I would
Oh.
stay with them.
Okay, so is that where your mother's parents ended up in Detroit?
They ended up on Tuxedo Avenue.
How did they get to
Well,
Michigan?
in 1923, my grandfather decided that he wanted to move all his daughters away. He didn't like, my father disliked intensely New Yorkers,
Uh-huh.
and that's sort of like me. I don't care too much for him either. And he's talking about New York City and Brooklyn.
Right.
My mother fell in love with a pharmacist from Brooklyn, and my grandfather broke it up.
Oh. So that's how he got in.
1923, Ida and her husband Dave moved to Detroit, and they talked my grandfather into moving to Detroit. That's how he ended up there.
Okay, but that was after your dad was married. Because you said that was an arranged marriage.
Yeah, but he got married in 1915.
Right, that's what I mean. They moved to Detroit after.
No, my father didn't move to Detroit.
No, your grandparents moved to
Yeah,
Detroit.
my mother never moved to
Right,
Detroit.
right.
But my grandmother, the one that was in Detroit, was my step-grandmother.
Oh,
My
okay.
regular grandmother passed away.
Got it. And so you still have a lot of relatives up there you're in touch with?
A lot. The Offies are related to us. The Saffrons are related. I'm still in touch with them.
Good.
The Saffrons are related to us. Yeah, the Saffrons own a very large printing company.
I know that I know those
And
people.
then they sold it, and then they sold it to Monarch Foods, and then eventually somehow they took it back, and their son now is in the printing business there, called Saffron Printing.
Would he be my age?
Probably.
I think I went to college with him.
Very good kid.
I think I went to college with him.
Yeah, we had the Levies. We're still in touch with the Levies. That was Ida's husband, and their son lives in Houston. We talk to him every once in a while. There's another son who's a doctor, lives in San Jose. They have a son who is a pilot with Continental. He's now with United, and he lives in Florida.